Welcome to the Cats Pod. We're here, special edition, Brawl the Wild edition of the Cats Pod. We have two special guests with us today. We've got a University of Montana alumni, a man that's most known for being the God Mike at the Newberry, Lane McAlpine. Welcome to the pod.
Hello, what up?
And then we have another guy that he's got in-laws that played for the Griz, lifelong Griz fan. He's Clint Christians, you know?
How's it going?
When we were testing everything before, Clint was really loud, and now Clint's just going to whisper the entire time. I think that's how it's going to go.
He's a little nervous. He's a little nervous. Bear with us.
I'm Ben Christians with my co-host here, Eric Lauver, the Notorious.
Let's go. Still riding high off that Julius Davis shout-out. Let's go.
Yeah, we still are riding off that energy. Pretty much all season we will be.
What happened?
First up, you didn't even.
Oh my God!
Oh, Clint doesn't even listen to the podcast.
Some kind
it
of
was
friend.
the opening seconds. It was the opening 30 seconds of the podcast. He's definitely gonna have to look at it now. Julius Davis gave us a shout out. My dad stiff-armed a kid out of the way of getting an autograph so that Julius Davis would give us a shout out for the podcast. So here we go.
Classic
Dean Christians comes across. Don't get in front of him. We're going to go over our Big Sky picks for this week, and then we'll get into our big, huge, gigantic, enormous debate over this week's Brawl the Wild. Our first Big Sky Conference game this week is Weber State versus Cal Poly. Eric, do you want to start it?
Yeah, Weber State's going to smoke Cal Poly. Weber State came out and they put a pretty big upset against Idaho. I don't see any way Cal Poly can do anything against those guys. It seems like they've found a bit of a rhythm here. So Cal Poly loses this one by a lot.
I think that's a pretty easy one to pick.
Yeah.
I've been so focused on Cat Grizz that it's really hard for me to talk about any of these other games, but definitely Weber State is probably like riding real high right now.
Oh, yeah.
They are ready to go.
Yeah.
Next one is another in-state, I don't know if you could call this a rivalry game, but it's Idaho versus Idaho State.
Oh, that's a big one in Idaho.
That's a big one?
Yeah.
At Idaho?
Yeah, I mean, the Grizz had some success against Idaho. Clint, how do you feel about that game?
Idaho's gonna win. Shit.
What?
They just lost. They're coming back. They have to, or they probably won't get a playoff game.
Really? You think it would drop that far?
Well, that'd be 4 losses, won't it?
Well, they
three conference, yeah.
But they
they did beat a FBS team though, didn't they?
They lost one.
They beat Nevada, I think.
Oh,
gonna
they beat
say,
Nevada,
yeah.
So they'll probably still get a playoff, I guess, but
Yeah, I think I agree. I don't think Idaho coming off a loss.
yeah,
Idaho State. They sure gave the Grizzlies a scare, but I think Idaho handles them.
Yeah. Sean O'Malley was there. He was distracting all the Grizz players. The Grizz players had no idea what to do in that game. They were just staring at Sean O'Malley's afro.
We also got a lot better since that game.
That's true.
Yeah, all right.
They have improved a lot this season, for sure.
I mean, it's hard to march into the Kippy Dome and get a win, but the Grizz did it.
Oh, yeah. That's factual.
Well, you played the team that played not Weber State. Nah, never mind.
You played the Idaho team that played against Weber State.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
Not
Thanks,
their
buddy.
top form. I got you. Next one is Northern Arizona versus Eastern Washington.
NAU.
NAU?
Because I don't know
I think
shit
I would
about
probably-
Eastern Washington.
I think I would probably agree with that.
And
Like, I
the
don't
Cats just throttled them.
know. Yeah.
They have no momentum.
The Lumberjacks have been really solid this season. Eastern Washington their defense looked horrible
It was
last
bad.
week. It was
bad.
It was a really bad game for Eastern Washington in general. Really great game for the Cats, but yeah, Northern Arizona seems pretty safe there.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Next one is Sac State versus UC Davis.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's tough. Sac State versus UC Davis. I'm gonna go Sac State. They've looked pretty bad for a couple weeks, and UC Davis has been streaking. But I'm gonna say that Sac State's offense is gonna start figuring it out again, and they're actually gonna play well this week.
Oh yeah, Sac State. If there's your team that would have a hard time making a case for the playoffs if they lose to UC Davis. I don't know. I mean, they'd probably get one, but it's going to be. They're going to have to go play somebody pretty good.
Yeah, they would definitely have to win this game, and I think if they win this game, they're in. So this could be kind of a play-in game for them.
Yeah.
And our final one, Portland State versus Northern Colorado. Is this the week that Northern Colorado gets a win?
This is in fact not the week.
It's not the week?
Northern Colorado.
I've been thinking there was one week where this team was going to pull off a miracle.
Well,
they're not going to go 0-11.
We've been hoping for it. Oh, yeah. They are. And they will.
They are.
Portland State, they just took it from the Grizzlies. There's no way they lose 2 in a row and look that bad twice. They're a better team than what they showed, and Northern Colorado is pitiful.
Yeah, the Grizzlies made Portland State look real bad.
Yeah.
They made him look real bad. The quarterback for the Grizz, I swear he ran for, 12 touchdowns in that game?
Yeah.
Minimum. Maybe got a baker's
it.
dozen. It seemed like every single time I turned to the TV, he was doing some weird awkward dance in the end zone. Like, that man needs to figure out better end zone dances, I can tell you that.
He should definitely take a lesson from Ty McCullough and Cleveland Thomas, because those guys know how to do a celebration. They get unsportsmanlike.
They get penalized.
Yes.
Yeah. 3 pumps and they're in, you know? 3 pumps and they're in.
Yeah.
All right. And now...
We really should have wrote those down, because now we're going to have to go back through and...
Oh, we're going to listen to it like every other week so that we can tell what we actually picked, because we never remember.
No.
Every time, before we're about to record, I'm like, do you remember what we picked? And he's like, no. And then I have to listen back to the podcast and be like, oh, that's who we picked last week.
That's why we have 106% consumption, because we both have to listen back to it to see what we picked.
Yeah. We're just juicing our own stats. We're Sammy Sosa right now. We're just
Padding the podcast.
padding the podcast for sure.
Yeah.
But now I guess we can talk about the game that we all came here to talk about. Should we open up with some words of wisdom from the great Bobby Houck?
I think we should.
Bobby.
This is his press conference.
Yeah. Hold up.
I was going to say, got a
One
malfunction.
second. Gotta unplug my headphones. This is the kind of production value you only get here on the Cats Pod.
In the basement.
In the basement, in my creepy uncle's basement. Yeah.
You know, our opponent they're a good team. There's no other way to describe them, but they're a really good team. They're leading the conference in scoring and rushing offense. People have had a lot of difficulty stopping them, and should be a good game and a fun week. Well, I'm excited every Saturday. I mean, it's competition's what drives everybody involved.
He seems very
Everybody
excited.
in our organization loves to compete, and you know, when you're playing your neighbor, there's probably a little more excitement around that just because you're so familiar with each other.
Adds a little extra to it.
Well, I see bring the worst out of a lot of people that are not on the field.
Is that a direct shot at us? Are we the worst that's being brought out?
Glad the
I
players kept their
don't know.
composure.
They play good defense. I mean, they play hard. The thing that stands out is they really are in sync, front to back. Do a lot of things that you know, whether it's movement stuff or cover stuff that complements what's going on up front. So they play front to back and they're coordinated.
And I know 22 times. It's the first time it's a top 5 matchup. Like, what does that do for the game from your perspective?
Well, last year's unproductive to talk about because we need to be focused on this Saturday. So we'll focus on this Saturday and we'll go compete hard. Maybe we will, maybe we won't.
Thanks, guys.
Almost made it.
Oh, thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Bobby. I don't know if anybody else feels like running through a wall right now, but that is electric. The energy that Bobby Howe puts out on a week-to-week basis, I just got to tell you, like, there is nothing I would rather do than listen to him talk all day long.
The man is a poet. He
Yeah.
has a way with words.
He does.
And he just scratched all of our backs. A little bit of a fire. You know what I'm saying?
It's just a little bit of a Belichick vibe right there. You know? Everyone's ready to play.
Yeah, are they ready? I felt like Bobby was holding back tears for that entire press conference. Like, I didn't know what was going on with him, but he did not want to talk to anybody.
He's probably going, God, I cannot lose to the Cats again this year.
Probably.
I cannot do this.
For sure.
Yeah, I think watching him speak is just, it's like peeling your skin off. It's just agony. The guy is so miserable in front of a camera. Not that you have to be good to be a good football coach, but it's like people might actually like you if you have any kind of personality at all.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, just a smidgen.
Mm-hmm. It would help out a lot. And we are Bobcats for Bobby, so we
Yeah.
would like to keep him around, as long as possible.
Yeah, exactly. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of that press conference?
Thrilling. He's got away with words, that guy. But in all honesty, he is always shit at press conferences.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
It's not very helpful. No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you think the game will be better than Bobby Howe's press conference this weekend?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a dogfight. I hope it's a smashing of the Cats, but...
You hope the Cats are. You think that's actually a thing that could happen?
Oh, yeah, it happened the last time in Missoula.
What year was that?
2018.
2018
No,
was
it was
the
21.
No, 21. I was thinking of my freshman year.
I was like 4 years ago this happened.
No.
because how many times in the last 6 years?
Wait, how long was the streak?
Oh yeah!
Oh,
we're gonna
yeah.
dig up something that happened when you were still in
Well.
pull-ups, huh?
No, I wasn't born for most of it.
Yeah.
That was a lot. No, this is the one argument that like every Grizz fan always brings up. They're like, what about like the 16-year streak or 25 years or it's longer every time? It's like the greatest fishing story for Grizz fans ever.
But Cat
And-
fans can't say shit because they literally sing a song, Mony Mony, and yell, eat shit Grizzlies, even when you're not playing the fucking Grizzlies. So you guys are worse than we are. Don't go there. Don't go there. That's bullshit.
We had to get back at you for
For
decades of
beating you 16
pride.
times in a row.
And all you did, you're terrible winner. So the Grizzly fans
And
have
you're a
created
good winner?
The Grizzly fans have
How are you
created this.
ever a good
We're
winner?
great winners. We're great at winning. Whenever we do it, we're great at it. That's all we do. You know?
But you also have to put some respect on Bobby because isn't he the Big Sky Conference all-time winner?
Yeah,
Well,
he
coaches.
is the winningest coach in Big Sky history.
Well,
we're
that's
hoping-
the press conferences,
and which
but
makes you
he's got the
wonder
rap sheet.
why hasn't this man gotten a contract extension? Why haven't they extended Bobby? Why don't they want to keep him around? Is it because the Grizzlies are constantly living in the past and constantly talking about games that happened before we were born and saying that those were the greatest times ever? Like, let's bring back Bobby Howe. That's going to change everything back for the Grizzlies. It's going to make everything better.
Hey,
and then all of a sudden, what happens?
It doesn't
Bobby
matter
gets a
that he
train
flamed
ran.
out in UNLV. It doesn't really matter.
No. Nobody cares about what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
And let's be honest here. The Big Sky Conference
Pretty
hasn't
sure
been
every
that
one of
good.
us have flamed out in Vegas, so don't fucking.
A time or two, a time or two.
But to have that winning streak, that many wins, is impressive considering there weren't any good teams in the Big Sky Conference until like recently.
Yeah, I know. The Cats were dog shit forever. Now they finally are good. I see your point.
Oh yeah, see.
All right, I think we should talk about this year maybe a little instead of all of the other years. But what has turned around for the Grizzlies? What is the reason that they're actually coming around now and playing good football?
That lost NAU.
Mm-hmm.
And but what's the difference? What did they do there that they are not doing now, or vice versa?
Scored a lot more.
Yeah.
They're scoring. They got their QB situation figured out a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
McDowell
McDowell's
didn't
a
play
big
at
part of
NAU,
it?
did he?
No,
No.
they brought him in after that.
McDowell just has to get going early against the Cats, otherwise it could get ugly. Because when he takes forever to get going, the defense has to start it, and you can't start it with the defense on the Cats, I don't think.
Well,
Cats are too good of a team.
What about the defense? Because there were a lot of games early up until the NAU game. They were giving up a lot of points to inferior opponents. Who's stepping up? Like anyone in
Wilson's coming out of the woodwork. Wilson's been playing really good for him.
Ryder Meyer, Fairfield, shout out. He's playing good.
Fouch is a solid player, and he keeps playing better and better. I wish Graves wasn't, because does Graves still have an issue or something? Because he's only playing special teams now. He was hurt or something, I thought they said. But he's a good one, too. I don't know. Everyone just seems to be playing better right now. The defense just kind of figured it out. I don't know what the hell they really changed, honestly. Maybe the fact that they're not blitzing every play
That helps.
Because at the beginning of the season, it was like, all we're doing is blitzing. It's like, maybe let's get home with just 4 guys.
Yeah. Well, see, on the flip side, the Cats never blitz.
No.
I mean,
doesn't seem like they ever do. They don't give the front four any kind of relaxation ever. They're like, you have to get after the quarterback every single play. We're not sending anybody else.
You know, I wonder, is this going to be a Zach Cruz revenge game?
Zach Cruz revenge against the Grizzlies?
Yeah.
You know?
They pulled his scholarship.
Because, he said something messed up, didn't he?
Yeah, we won't get into that. That little bugaboo.
Oh, it was a Venmo.
It was
that's
Venmo
what it
caption,
was.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, it was a very dumb high school kid moment. But all that aside,
we're politically correct, though, at our school. You guys don't
Yeah.
care, obviously. So.
Very politically correct. Yeah.
I've never heard anything in the crowd.
they also put
Never.
flowers in their hair and hold hands and dance around trees most of the day.
Yeah.
I will put flowers in my hair and dance around a tree if we win the Natty.
Quote that.
He said the Natty. They have to win They have to get to the national championship. He's not even talking about this week.
Yeah, so
Clint's
That's where it
looking
is.
ahead.
That's
I
where
like
Clint's
it.
at.
He's looking ahead.
He's like Frisco or nothing right now.
Well, honestly, whoever wins this game is probably going to get the number 2 seed in the playoffs. And then that's home field all the way through as long as you can win. I honestly think, because right now, who do they have in number 2? Furman. I don't know. This is a big game. I feel like either team wins, they go to number 2. I think they do. Because everyone respects the Big Sky so much for some reason.
Missouri Valley and the Big Sky Conference seem like they're the only conferences that actually matter in FCS.
Yeah.
It just comes down to whether the committee is going to take Furman's record into account, because they're most likely going to be 10-1. You know, and they're going to have the record to stack up with all these teams, but they're not playing against anybody.
No.
They're playing against Chattanooga.
No, I think they have Wofford.
Chattanooga.
I think that's
all
who they
these
play this
terrible
weekend
teams.
is Wofford, a 1-9 Wofford team or something like that. So
Yeah.
Let's go Wofford.
yeah.
You know?
Come on.
Yeah, make it easy on either team that way.
Because the most beautiful thing that could happen is, like, either way this Cat Grizz game goes is if Furman loses, because then the Cats and the Grizz could end up being 2 and 3 in the rankings, which means we could get another Cat Grizz in the playoffs. If we had Cat Grizz semifinals to play against South Dakota State in Frisco, I think that would be the most electric game.
Well, the problem is it's going to beat up whoever makes it to the Natty against South Dakota.
Yeah, it would be tough
Because the semi is going to be even more competitive than this game's going to be. So then it's going to, I don't know.
Well, and
But you don't think whoever loses goes to like 4 or 5 just to keep them on the other side of the bracket?
whoever loses will fall because you have to jump. South Dakota has to jump. University of South Dakota.
Yeah.
They have to jump. They're 5 right now.
No.
They'll move up.
Who do they play this week?
I haven't even looked. I don't think there's. UNI plays North Dakota State. UNI's not a terrible team. There's a chance that knock the Bison back a step, but
I think that would knock them out of playoff contention altogether.
they get in off of residue, just what they've done for a decade. But
Dominant.
I know almost every single Cat fan would love the Bison to come into Bozeman so we could give them a little payback for what they did to us the last time they came to Bozeman.
That would be fun, and that's a game where either way it goes, if it went through Missoula or through Bozeman, I would be happy to watch that game.
Yeah, as long aside from a very small segment of Grizzly and Cat fans, everybody can agree that we hate the Bison most of all.
Can we all agree on that?
Tippy top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's bring it in here, guys. Bring it in here.
Yeah. Bottom line is the Bison are. They've been so good for so long. It's time for them to take a back seat to everyone else.
They're already calling for that head coach's job too.
Yeah.
One bad season,
bad
they're
season.
ready for him to be gone.
Get rid of him.
One time he doesn't make it to the national championship.
Well, it's not over yet.
All they need is that playoff bid. Is that what they're going to come on right at the end of the season?
No.
So with this Cat Grizz game, I feel like everything that people have been talking about is the running games for both teams. Like the freshman running back for the Grizzlies that's been coming on throughout the season and looks like he's a legit player versus the top 9 guys that can rush for the Cats.
Yeah.
And what do you guys think will happen if this turns into a ground game against the Grizzlies?
Well, who's going to be the leading ball carrier for the Grizzlies? Is it Osmo or Gilman?
Gilman.
Yeah. Osmo is your third down goal line back. I mean, he can make that hard 1-yard push where Gilman, he can break one at any time. I mean, he has that in his bag, I guess, where Osmo, it seems like, poor bugger, he never has a hole to run into. He just has to run into one of his own guys and push him forward. I mean, that's just...
Kind of the fullback, halfback situation going on with the Grizzlies. Would you guys feel confident if this turns into a running game?
I don't know. I think it's going to be a running game no matter what, honestly, because, like I say, McDowell, he can throw him 30 yards down the field and hit guys in stride, but he can't hit a 5-yard out route or anything just easy right to the guy. He throws it in the dirt or way over his head, and if you can't get a first down by throwing for 5 yards, might as well run the ball.
Well, the Bobcats are about to get way, way healthier. Mm-hmm. We're going to get Danny Yu back, middle linebacker, like extreme core piece of the defense. Drew Polidor, he's coming back. Guy has broken all his fingers, but he's still coming back.
Also, shout out to Drew Polidor, that's now friends with Eric on Facebook.
Let's go.
You know, I don't get any love, but Eric gets a follow on Facebook. They're like real friends because Facebook is for family. So now Facebook is for family. So Eric and Drew Polidor are now family.
Let's go. But then
who sent their friend request? Was it you or him?
It was him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
He sent me the notifications and it was like, "Would you add this guy?" You know, they come to us now. You know?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We still love all you guys.
Yeah.
You guys are big fans.
You got to stay with us though. No transfer portal.
Don't
okay?
leave us, please. Please. Aiden Garrigan, another wide receiver to an already loaded wide receiver core, coming back, and Trayton Pickering will practice this week in order to be a game time decision. We'll see. Yeah. Hopefully, cross your fingers. Shout out for another local boy up here.
Yeah, he's a stud. Always has been.
Yeah, we'd love to have him back. But, I mean, you take into account all of our best players that were hurt are coming back. I mean, that's got to make you a little worried.
I mean, not really, because you guys always play dirty and targeting.
This is a team of Robbie House. So. Yeah. Robbie House. That's all I have to say.
Robbie never got kicked out. Just saying.
He should have,
but he didn't. So he must have played a clean game.
That's the argument. You know, he never got kicked out, so he was just clean. You know,
clean guy.
Clean,
yeah.
You know?
No, you guys said that you haven't really heard of much injuries on the Grizzly side, so to speak.
I think that's probably why the Grizzlies are making a run towards the end of the season and they're building up momentum, is because they haven't had to deal with as many injuries.
But if you listen to Bobby Houck's press conference, he said he's dealt with attrition on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. But anywhere you live, I spent 30 minutes Googling this last night after I watched that press conference. I couldn't figure out who the heck was hurt.
I think he was talking about constipation on the offensive and defensive lines. That's what he's been dealing with all year. In that press conference, he looked like a man who's backed up.
Yeah.
All the way to the goal line.
Braxton Hill might have too. But Braxton Hill's a stud, though.
Braxton Hill's a stud.
What does he play?
Linebacker.
Yeah, he was
from Anaconda.
Yeah, he was the one sitting right next to Bobby Houck, I think. Yeah. I don't know. I wonder if the Grizzlies' defensive line can contain every single threat on it. I mean, they got to worry about two different quarterbacks running two completely different schemes. They got to worry about, like you said, about 9 different guys running the ball, and now we get Aiden Garrigan back. We have,
You guys
Ty
have a
McCullough.
stud running game. There's no doubt on that. I mean, everyone knows the Cats can run the ball. It's just, now do you sell out to stop the run and then Tommy throws over the top, or do you give up the run game and stop the deep pass? So that's how the Cats are kicking everyone's ass, it seems like. Which one do you choose? And then the Cats always have, seems like, run play option and hit the over the top, or they run it for 40 yards down the field.
yeah, that has been common.
Yeah.
Clint,
It's
that was
kinda
a great breakdown of how great we are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
You
love
know,
it.
I'd like to thank you for that.
I'm not saying you guys aren't great, but a rivalry game, you never know what's going to happen. There's been times when the Cats are really good and the Grizz pull off an upset, and then vice versa. The Grizz go in and they suck and somehow pull off an upset. So, it's a rivalry game. You don't know until you get there.
In 2021, you beat us, and we went to the national championship.
Yeah, and we weren't even
Shout
supposed to be in the game.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It was
Shout
so
out
fun.
Junior Bergen, the spark.
Yeah.
Yeah, Junior Bergen should have been a Cat.
That's one thing, though, the Grizz have to quit doing is they got to quit running the ball to Junior Bergen's side because he is not a blocker. I don't know why they ever run the ball towards him. He's tiny. He's a hell of a playmaker, but it's like, why run the ball at that's a guy?
Yeah, he's good in open field, no doubt.
He is, yeah. I don't know.
But bottom line, okay, so how about this? Running backs as a whole, as a stable, who's better, Cats or Grizz?
Grizz.
Oh, yeah, okay. I knew that was coming. You had to say it.
You
No matter
know,
what.
I think I hear somebody like trying to bang through a wall in Bozeman right now so they can get here, and that is Orange Julius Davis.
Yeah, he don't like
Because
that.
Julius Davis does not like that.
Do
He
you
does
guys
not
think
like
they're
that
even
at all.
listening? I mean,
He's definitely listening. He was on the podcast. You know? He's definitely listening. And right behind him, who's right behind him?
Anyone else in the running back committee?
Anybody
Anyone
else?
else? I mean, they're right there behind him.
Jared White's right behind him because Jared White's pissed off right now.
Oh, Jared White's ready to go. Scott Trey, he's fired up.
Mm-hmm.
Lane Sumner's back and he's raring to go. I mean, you can go all the way down. I mean, we saw running backs that we hadn't seen since the beginning games.
We saw running backs from Missoula break out and score a touchdown on their first run of
Adam
all time.
Jones.
Shout out to Adam Jones. He comes from Missoula. He gets one carry. I think he's had one carry all year, and it was a 59-yard touchdown.
it's pretty easy, though, when your O-line just holds everyone. I mean, they tackle guys. It's like,
Are you talking about the Grizzlies right now? 'Cause
no,
I would
the
agree with that
Bobcats.
statement.
Yeah, our offensive line is just physically dominant. The other line seems to end up on the ground a lot.
Yeah, it's because it's called a pancake, Clint.
I'm glad you know what it's called.
Yeah, they block them so well they fall right on their back.
Yeah. It's called a pancake because I eat a stack of them every Sunday after a Bobcat win.
And Ben will eat 2 stacks
Oh, 2 stacks.
when the Cats beat the Grizzlies.
2 stacks of pancakes, you know. Set it up.
How much are the Cats going to win by, if you think they're going to win?
I told these two, not you, that if they put on Montana Sports Bet minus 6.5 for the Cats, I'd take it.
So a touchdown is what you're thinking? I don't know. I think it's going to be a nail biter all the way to the end. Maybe the Cats will fumble on the goal line this year. That'd be cool.
That was second row in the student section. You fumbled that.
Miracle in Missoula, Volume 2, and it's just the Grizzlies cheering this time.
That was devastating.
You think about Cat Grizz as a whole, that game specifically, compared to all the ones around them, you have Troy Anderson and his come out game against the Grizzlies. That part there is going to be remembered forever. That one play, that
Now who's living in the past?
Thought only
that's
the
what I'm
Grizz
saying.
lived in the past.
What I'm saying is
You
that's
brought up the goal line play, okay? You started this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just had to get
At least we're not talking about ancient history, you know. They are making documentaries about it, though.
Yeah, that's a little embarrassing.
And then last year you have Tommy Malott come out and say, "Everyone be nice to the Grizzlies." We
Oh,
felt
that
like
was
what
just
it
a
was
shot.
Oh,
that was a
my
shot
God.
at
Just
the Grizzlies.
so classy.
Yeah,
Every once in a while,
whatever.
I would love for Tommy not to be classy. I want to hear Tommy off of double digits. Okay, I want to hear him after at least over a 6-pack and see if he really keeps that same
Over a
energy.
6-pack.
And I feel like he would, and that would be a huge disappointment to me because he might actually just be a great guy.
I want to see Tommy
He's from
Malott.
Butte. He can't be that great a guy.
Yeah. You can take the boy out of Butte, but you can't take the Butte out of the boy. And I just feel like Tommy's got some fire that he's not talking about.
All I want to see after the Cats win is Tommy Malott walk out just right over this side of the field and just do the Superman. Cam Newton it.
Cam Newton, that's the move. Is he also going to wear a fox fur tail after the game?
I would hope not. Okay, how about partial Cam Newton it?
Partial Cam Newton. Yeah. Not get so injured that he can never play again and then go sign with the Patriots and be terrible.
Yeah.
You know,
But
that's not what
if
we
Tommy
want.
Malott signed with the Patriots, I would root for the Patriots. So
No. So the
There is
line
that.
on this game is -3.5. Are you guys taking it?
Yeah.
You think it's going to be a 3-point game?
I was
Or
gonna
a
say
win by the
earlier, I think
Grizzlies.
it's gonna be a field goal.
Field goal game? I hope it's
Field
not.
goal
We
game.
have,
I hope
we've
it's a
got
field
some-
goal game because
we've got
your
some bad
guys' is
business.
garbage.
Councilman.
Yeah, you guys'
Councilman has
kicker.
been pretty legit now.
yeah,
you know?
we've got a new kicker, and he's a Butte boy.
And guess who was Big
The
Sky
6'9" guy
special
isn't kicking
conference
anymore?
special teams conference player of the week? That is a mouthful.
It is. Yeah,
That is a mouthful.
That is
okay?
a lot to say.
Big Sky Conference special teams player of the week.
Brendan Hall.
Brendan Hall.
Let's go.
Oh boy, did you guys hear he's 6'9"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
he's
guys know
6'9".
that?
Every
You guys
announcer
hear
has
he's 6'9"?
announced it every game this year. I think.
He's like 2 lanes put together.
Yeah, he's
He does, he
You stack
is.
one lane on the other. He's 2 lanes wide, but he's tall. You know?
2 lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I could see it being a tight game, but that's what they said about last year's game too. It's gonna be a tight one, super tight.
We weren't that good last year, though.
We're still number 6.
Yeah, but we weren't. I mean, that was just because everyone respects the Grizz.
But so you lose a player like Patrick O'Connell from last year.
Dog.
Yeah,
He was
and
stud.
what's it, Justin Ford, the corner?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, those are 2 major guys. I
But
mean,
now
both
we're
of them-
one unit instead of just star power.
Yeah. They all bought in.
We're really
okay.
into
You
it.
brought
now.
those 5 fingers together.
Yeah.
And that makes a fist, boys.
That's Coach Ben coming out right there.
Yeah, that's Coach Ben. That's
Yeah.
actually what Sean O'Malley said to him in the locker room.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Sugar Sean.
The fact that Sugar Sean is a Grizz fan still kills me.
You know,
No, I love
I
it.
don't think I'll ever get over it, but you know, I might eventually. Like the next time he's gonna fight, I'll probably get over it.
Hey, we have Flint Rasmussen, so suck it.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Suck it. We've got Flint Rasmussen.
I can't
We got a
wait for
clown.
when the Grizz beat the Cats and Sugar Sean tags Sean Chambers and something.
Oh
It's
no.
the 2
Not
Seans, the battle of the Seans, because he
Sean
said, I hope he
Chambers
gets
secrets.
knocked out in his next fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he deleted it.
Oh, he backed out.
He
on
backed
it?
out on
That's-
it. You can't
no,
find a tweet.
He put it back in the Sean Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you do. He throws that out there and he's okay. I gotta put that back in the chamber. You know, gotta save that one.
It'll be interesting to see what they do about Sean Chambers when they start flopping quarterbacks around.
Who's getting more snaps?
I would
It's been tough to tell these last few games.
I bet Chambers does.
Tommy's had more for sure, but as far as productivity, Sean Chambers been off the charts.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 5 touchdowns. He accounted for 5 touchdowns last week between
Yeah.
rushing and passing. I mean, it's tough to tell. It's kind of like Tommy comes in, sets the tone, and then Sean Chambers kind of busts it open. It would be interesting to see.
Chambers
how-
is your leading rusher?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's because he has like a 70-yard touchdown run in every game.
Yeah.
I guess your running backs just aren't that good, huh?
Oh no! Oh yeah, Julius, are you listening to this?
Running back
Julius.
committee, huh?
Julius better listen. I mean,
Is he number 32?
Looking at Sean Chambers' like numbers, and honestly, we don't talk about the quarterbacks enough. I don't know why. I think it's because they're just good every single week, so we never have anything to talk about. But yeah, Sean Chambers averages 8.5 yards a rush.
I mean, they're long.
Yeah, that's pretty
He
impressive.
busts, he busts long ones, but and back, keeping it on the quarterback train here, I noticed that when old Clifton McDowell isn't playing, up to snuff, if they put in that Ayat.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a good one.
Legacy.
I mean, yeah. His dad Brian was a stud, so I mean, he was wasn't he ranked the #1 quarterback in Hawaii his senior year of high school? I think.
Are you asking me?
I'm pretty sure he is.
But
He's up there.
The last #1 quarterback for Hawaii was Mariota and went on to play at Oregon.
Also, there's only one quarterback in Hawaii every year. Just so everybody knows.
They have one high school team in Hawaii.
At least they're good.
They're undefeated.
They're undefeated every year.
Undefeated every single year. They actually played.
He's
against
never
American
lost
Samoa.
a scrimmage. So.
It is Hawaii versus American Samoa for the state championship.
Yeah, and we
every
mean
year.
no offense to anybody from Hawaii. It's
Oh
just,
no,
it's all
yeah,
funny.
Hawaii's gonna come after us now.
Yeah.
This is bad.
But is that what they do? They try and get McDowell
I think
reality check, or what's going on there?
Well, it worked in that Northern Colorado game.
Oh God,
The offense
Are you-
sucked.
Did you just bring that up yourself?
Yeah. They
Unprovoked.
did suck.
You almost lost.
I know.
Northern
And they
Colorado.
sucked. They put in Ayat. He throws a touchdown. And then after that, McDowell, the last 3 games, has looked like a stud. So it obviously worked.
So what you're saying is McDowell is due for a Northern Colorado repeat.
No.
Can
No,
we
no.
just talk about how Clifton McDowell sounds like the bully at a country club? His name. He just sounds like the guy that was trying to beat up kids at the country club because they were dancing too close to his girlfriend.
I could picture Clifton McDowell being Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore.
Clifton McDowell is Shooter McGavin's godson.
What did he say in the interview after the game? Something about the Brawl of the Wild.
Oh, yeah,
but he
he
didn't call it the Brawl of
butchered
the
it.
Wild. He's like, or whatever they call it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
the
know.
Brawl or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Battle of the Brawl.
it's like when people come from out of state,
Hey,
I don't really.
I
give
don't
too
need
much
him
guff
to
about
say
that,
anything
you know?
right. He just has to win the football game.
Exactly.
Yep,
As long
that's
as
all
the
he's gotta
passes
do.
are right, that's all that it takes.
Let's hit a 5-yard.
Is he a senior?
One.
Is that what he is? Is he a senior?
Well, he's a transfer. I don't know.
He must
I
be.
don't know.
Oh, gotta be. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, he's
So-
a senior.
Once he's gone, you think they turn to Ayad? They hit in the
Oh,
transfer
yeah.
portal.
Yeah.
No, they're
They're
hitting Ayat.
They're hitting that Ayat. Is an Ayat that close to a ski?
Dang. Ski. Kind of a scary looking dude.
I mean, yeah, his eye is like all the blood vessels are broken. Did he have just a rough night? Okay, so we're looking at the picture of Khalil. Is it Khalil?
Yeah.
Khalil Ayat, and all of the blood vessels in his left eye are
Shot.
busted out. Just like he got in some major fight the night before this.
It kind of looks like he just got sacked by Brody Greavy.
I think he got caught in like the wrong dance party down at Monk's. I think that's what it was.
Monks.
He was
Maybe
at Monk's.
Badlander Monks
No,
kind of fell off, man.
That's how long it's been since I've been in Missoula. I don't even know what bar people are going to anymore.
Yeah. That's because if you're not from Missoula, they don't like you.
I mean, 6'1", 181 pounds. He is just imposing. Let me tell you, just a unit. Unit.
Yeah. Other than that, let's see what else do we got there on the passing. Who's next up in the passing there?
Bidlock.
Yeah, he was the
he's,
one that got binged.
Not much of a fan.
Oh, Junior Bergen has a couple throws.
He's a dynamic player, man.
Literally a couple throws.
So what
He
you're
has
saying is
100% completion rate.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just
it's-
saying.
dude, he has a 556 quarterback rating.
Yeah. Don't let him scramble.
Don't catch Junior Bergen with the ball.
Clifton McDowell only has one pick. I wonder if that'll change.
Like
No,
we've been
probably
going on
not.
we've been going on a run of picks, and in that press conference that I had to listen to for all of 24 minutes, so that I could cut together that video, they were talking a lot about how the big matchup during this game is going to be between the wide receivers for the Grizzlies and the secondary for the Bobcats. They didn't talk a whole lot about the running game whatsoever, which I thought was going to be the main topic. They talked a lot about the wide receiver core for the Grizzlies. Do you guys really have... Is it that stacked for the wide receivers, or is that the only place they can look for kind of a event to go through?
I don't know. Our O-line isn't super... They're not a super good run blocking O-line, but they can pass block pretty well, so that's probably why he's talking about the passing. But either way, you got Gilman, and he is a stud, and if you can get him the ball, even if it's a short screen or whatever, he seems to be able to break them, which helps, but I don't know. It's got to be a lot of passing, I honestly think, just because our O-line sometimes is...
Well, shit.
I have faith in Keelan White, though.
Yeah.
He's
That's gonna be
shifty.
the one.
Vontez, he's pretty good.
It looks like
If you can hit Bergens early and get him going, too, that helps
Yeah.
a lot.
He's the spark.
Because he's a playmaker. He is the playmaker for the Grizz, it seems like.
Well, him and Keelan White are extremely even on the season.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Keelan White's a little padded with the 97-yard touchdown,
Yeah.
but
Record holder.
That was a pretty sweet play, too.
other than that, Junior Bergen has 543 and Keelan White has 538. Junior Bergen has 37 receptions and Keelan White has 36. I mean, that's about as even as you can make it.
Yeah, we like to spread the ball around.
Yeah, between two guys.
When you look at the reception totals and then you look over at the Bobcats, it
Yeah.
definitely does seem like there's a slight discrepancy here.
Yeah.
Like one team may have a lot more receptions than the other team. We don't pass the ball a whole lot, and when we've tried to, it usually is effective, but it's just those single passes where it's like, okay, we're going to go for 25 yards over the top because we've ran 15 plays in a row.
Okay, so since we're on the passing thing, if you were going to bet a receiver on the Grizzlies to have more than 40 receiving yards, who would it be?
I don't know. I don't bet.
Oh, come on.
I'm going Keelan White.
Keelan White?
Keelan White, that's the dude.
What about you, Ben, on the Cats? What do you think? If you had to take
This
one.
week, I think I'm going Taco.
Taco's
Taco
week?
Dowler?
I think it's
Taco's
Taco's
week.
week. I think
Really?
it's Montana guys this week. I think that's what it's going to be.
Man, I
It's a
can't.
big Montana guy week. The Brawl of the Wild is here. Taco has been injured all year. He's kind of coming back, still dealing with some minor hand injuries. I think Taco is going to come in and he's actually going to play a decent game.
I think I have to go with McCullough, dude. I love watching that guy play. He's super fun to watch. He's extremely good at football. And
Are you just trying to rub it in that this is another Cat player that follows you but does not follow me?
yeah, dude, shout out Ty McCullough.
I have Julius Davis, though.
Speaking on the Montana guys, though, do you know how many Montana guys play for the Cats?
All together. I don't know what the
Oh, yeah, we should look.
the top
36.
36?
48 for the Grizz, though.
48 for
But
Grizz?
we
Man.
smoked you in Montana recruiting.
True, this year.
Smoked you.
This year.
Didn't we get
Actually, it might have been the
Didn't
last
we get
couple of years.
4 guys from Missoula this year?
I don't know exactly how many we got from Missoula, but we had an incredible recruiting class come out of the state of Montana this year. Everyone that was good took a look at Missoula, saw that they kind of smelled that Bobby stench, and went running to Bozeman.
I mean,
Well,
when
you're
it
gonna-
comes
Go for it.
when it comes to recruiting, I feel like a lot of the stories that come out of Bozeman are just that the Cats treated them better as people in these situations. Like, there's a lot of disrespect, and I'm not talking.
Where did you get
I'm
this
not talking
information
just
from,
about
man?
Missoula, but I'm not talking just about Missoula. But I'm talking about stories you hear from like Elijah Elliott and different guys like that. Ben Seymour, Sebastian Valdez. These guys all talk about how other schools were just kind of disrespecting them in the recruiting process. And Brett Began would show up and be like, well, if you want to come here, we always have your back, no matter what. And they would extend them on time and everything. Elijah Elliott, the story with him, his brother had just died, and a lot of colleges were dropping him because he wasn't responding to any text messages. And Brett Vegan was the only person that kept getting in touch with him and calling him up and seeing how he was doing, and that's why he ended up being a Bobcat. So it's like that culture, I think, is adding to the recruiting, which created the cat culture that we've been talking about all year, where we have great team chemistry, and it seems like almost no in competition. All the competition is on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree.
And it helps that you went to the national championship last year. That alone is going to get you recruits.
You smell that, Ben? It smells like jealousy. That smells like a little jealousy.
I don't know. After we win this game and get the number 2 seed in the playoffs,
Lot of home
and go to the
playoff
national,
games.
then we'll see.
You'll see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, that's when you're going to get it. Then the Montana numbers are going to go way down. And then you're not talking about Montana anymore at all. You're going to be like, guess what the matchup is on Montana this year? 32-2.
But we're still winning.
Yeah.
No,
That is what matters.
it'll be super interesting to see how this plays out after this game. I do think that if there's a blowout that occurs, there is a pretty good chance, I don't want to say strong, but good chance that the winning team would potentially jump Furman. But it has to be a blowout. I don't see him jumping Furman.
You think so?
No.
I think if whoever wins, I honestly do. It's just everyone thinks Big Sky and gives Big Sky the respect. So I just think naturally you go in there, either team with their records they have, whoever wins this game, I really do think will be number 2.
I hope that the committee treats this as the biggest game in the country. And the biggest game
It's
in the
gotta
country
be in the FCS.
all year long. Like the biggest single game the entire year. It's nothing else compares to it, and nothing compares to it in Brawl the Wild history. Like
I mean-
there's never been a time where we're playing for the Big Sky Conference Championship. Outright Big
Just
Sky
an
Conference
outright.
Championship. And we're also playing for, it looks like, the number 2 seed in the country. We're playing not to play against South Dakota State.
Yeah,
I think
pretty
that
much.
the only one that comes close would be the Dakota marker. South Dakota State, North Dakota State.
Yeah, but they're
Those
not
two-
even that good this year. North Dakota State.
Oh, I thought you were
No, South Dakota State. Either way, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be hard to beat South Dakota State. I think it can be done. It's going to be one hell of a game. Whoever can beat them.
Yeah.
I really, honestly think the only team that can beat South Dakota State are the Bobcats. They've played them twice in a calendar
I
year.
wonder if that was biased at all.
I mean, if one
You just
player
haven't
would have
beat a
trimmed
team
it,
3
we're
times.
not going to say who it was, but if they would have trimmed their toenails before the game, we would have won.
Yeah. Or
Because that was how far we were out of bounds on that touchdown.
Or
Sean
non-biased
Chambers came in, okay? Tommy Malott goes down with an injury, okay? They bring in Sean Chambers. They're like, okay, you can't do anything but run. And what does he do? He dices up South Dakota State for a half, almost throws a game-winning touchdown and misses it by a toenail.
yeah.
Well, that's football.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
just football, huh?
Yeah. And that's
Game
good,
of inches,
That's
man.
good
Game
quality
of inches.
Bobcat football is what that is. Yeah.
Meanwhile, we take South Dakota State, the best team that the FCS has seen since probably James Madison.
You think so?
Yeah. Dude, South Dakota State is legit. And you guys
I know they're legit.
the
I'm
Grizzlies
just
don't
saying
have to
they're
play
the
anyone
best.
hard,
They're
so-
better than all the other. Yeah, I don't know. This year, for sure, they're the best. But
I think that South Dakota State doesn't want to see the Bobcats again because we have played them with relatively the same teams twice in a calendar year. I mean, they beat us twice. Can they possibly do it a third time?
It's really hard to beat a team 3 times in a row.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the way we played them last time, the way we controlled time of possession. Controlled the entire pace of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it would be tough to see if they could do it 3 times. I don't think that they could. But
hopefully, we have to see that in the semifinals. That'd be cool.
Do you guys feel like the Grizzlies could pull it off if they do end up on the side of the bracket with SDSU?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say yeah, no
Oh,
matter
yeah.
what. It don't matter. I don't know. I don't want to be on the same side of the bracket at all. I don't think anyone's going, man, I would really like to just knock them off early.
Yeah.
Just get it out of the way.
Nobody wants to play in Brookings. I think that's the big deal.
And
I
it's
think
sad.
a lot of teams would love to play them in Frisco or like at a neutral site.
Yeah.
But if you have to play them at home, it's just very hard to play there.
Well, and we drew a short straw. I mean, that game last year, that was about as miserable of circumstances as you could make it. But
It's cold as hell, wasn't it?
oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
our-
making it to the national championship, that's just terrible circumstances. I fucking hate it.
It was, but the Bobcats literally had a hard time getting to Brookings. Like literally, the bus had to go up through Canada and then come back down
That was-
so that
yeah.
they could actually make it there. I'm exaggerating, but they had to,
And
like,
go
damn.
around
the
the
bring their
equipment bus
passports?
barely made it to the game.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get people there. They couldn't even get the equipment to the game. That's how bad the weather was.
Yeah, it was nasty and terrible, and like that can happen if teams have to go. I mean, we've all been to playoff games where it's absolutely brutal outside, and that can happen in Montana at both stadiums.
We'd just rather it be at home.
Yeah,
Than have to go to South Dakota. We'd
Yeah.
rather South Dakota have to come to us, but that's not the case. All right?
yeah.
Home field is such a big deal, though, in FCS. I mean, it's a huge deal.
I do think that if this is a close game, a real hard-fought game, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Cats and the Grizz get split up on the other sides. Just in case there was a chance that they could meet again.
And then we
And-
just have another chance at Cat Grizz National Championship.
I mean, let's be honest here. This playoff committee, what they're looking for is money. Dollar
Oh, yeah.
signs.
That's why the Grizz made the playoffs, like, what was it, 3 years ago when they were dog shit and they got 2 home playoff games?
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah. After they lost to the
yeah.
after they lost
Last
to the Cavs,
year,
yeah.
you guys got
there was
bid out of nowhere above
pretty
like
sure it
3
was-
other teams. You got a bid, or no, Eastern Washington, I think it was.
Yeah,
You guys got a
beat
higher
Eastern.
seed.
Yeah.
You guys got a higher seed than Eastern.
But that's because they knew they would sell out the crowd at Missoula.
Yep.
No one goes to Eastern Washington games.
Exactly.
So they're going to give it, and this is going to be the same this year. They're going to give the Cats and the Grizz as many home games as possible because both stadiums will sell out.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at the top 4 FCS stadiums, it's a non FCS playoff participant in is it Jackson State? Yeah, Jackson State. Then it's the Grizzlies. Then it's the Bobcats, and then it's the South Dakota State.
Mm-hmm.
So you have three
Well,
of the top
NDSU is
4.
normally up there, but this year
I think
not.
they're only like 15,000 capacity in their stadium,
Are
which
they?
they
The Fargo
fill up.
Dome?
Yeah.
I thought the Fargo Dome
The
was
Fargo
bigger.
Dome is not that big.
No.
Really?
Like, it's really
Look it up.
I went and played Reese, or went and watched Reese play in Minnesota State football.
Shout out
Me and
Reese.
Clint's cousin. Shout out Reese Wilson. I watched him play in the Minnesota State high school tournament, and it just wasn't that big of a stadium. I feel like.
No, it's really not. It'll surprise you.
Huh. I just thought it was. It always seems big, I guess, when you like are watching a game
I
there.
mean, South
And
Dakota,
domes in the name.
South Dakota State doesn't even
Huh?
break.
18. Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, South Dakota State doesn't break 20,000, but the Cats, the Grizzlies, and can break 20,000. And I don't think anyone else can. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
Not on a
but-
regular basis, at least.
I mean, average attendance is what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah, on average, the Cat and Grizz are over 20 every
I know.
time.
Watching a lot of those other FCS games, it's awfully pathetic.
Yeah, it is.
Even South Dakota State, it's pretty pathetic on like just regular conference games.
Oh,
Did
no.
you see that first game of the year this year? It was like dead ass empty.
Well, it was not during the Bobcat game.
Well,
It was sold out big
Yeah.
time. And
That's not going to be the case anytime the Cats come to town, though.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, if the Cats come to town, instant sellout.
yeah, I'm guessing.
yeah, let's beat
Missoula-
somebody.
Missoula be 60% Grizz fans, 40% Cat fans.
This weekend?
Yes.
No shot.
60-40, maybe. Yeah.
70-30.
I'm going 80.
I don't think any of the Grizz
80-20?
fans.
Man, they're going to show out this year.
They're not going to be, I don't know about 80-20, but the Grizz fans aren't going to give up any of their tickets this year. It's
I don't
way
know.
too
I was just
competitive
scrolling through Facebook earlier, and I saw a lot of tickets up for sale from a lot of Grizz fans.
Lot.
You know?
A lot of them.
this year. Like who?
Trevor Lackner.
He's a
He's
cat
not a
fan.
Griz fan. He's a cat fan.
Well,
Even
he's
your
selling
cat
tickets.
fans don't want
He's
to go to
selling
the games.
tickets.
That's embarrassing for you.
He lives in Billings.
So?
Must be his wife's tickets.
Yeah.
But I was just scrolling through and I was seeing like
Trevor
3 tickets,
Lackner.
$300 a piece. 2 tickets, $150. Like the numbers are outrageous though. It's like 3 tickets for $500 and different stuff like that. There's some wild ticket amounts, but there's a lot of people looking to cash in right now.
But the Cat fans also know that Missoula is antagonistic toward Cat fans, and
Oh, yeah. We're horrible. I mean,
it's
it
true.
makes you want to cry.
It is.
Terrible. We
It-
don't
Bobby,
even play
have you
Moni
ever
Moni one
personally been a
time. for you
victim
guys.
in-
Bobby
Washington
told you
Grizzlies
guys
Stadium,
in
Eric?
the press conference.
Yes, he said this brings out the worst in people, and he was referring to Grizzly fans.
Grizz fans.
Oh, you
Yeah,
think
they're all
so?
Referring to all fans in general.
He didn't say that, did
100%.
He knows that the Bobcats are for Bobby. He knows that the Grizz
Yes.
fans are against him. You know?
I don't think there's any Grizzly fans campaigning for a vegan contract extension, but we're out here campaigning for a Bobcats for Bobby get another contract.
Because that's the only way you guys can beat us is when Bobby's coaching.
Oh, he said it.
He
not
said
us.
it. He said it, not us. And on that note, I think we should end this this podcast,
This Bobbycast.
this Bobcast right now. Thanks everybody for listening. Please rank us 5 stars on whatever platform you are listening on. Make sure you leave us a voicemail. The link is on our BioLink page. Just tell us what your predictions for the games are, or just say something funny, because I need more material to put in this podcast at the end of the week. It will drop 2 hours before game time, so that everybody can just hear the fans' response.
Yeah, and
I hate to be this guy, but is someone really going to listen to the podcast 2 hours before the game, or are they going to be drinking and tailgating?
They might be, but
Why
that's
not
it's
drop
gonna
it
be,
the night before?
It's going to be a short.
Then
giving
everyone
them
can
the
listen.
option.
We're giving them the option.
option.
I need editing time, okay, Clint? You know?
Up with Montana boys.
Yeah.
Down with the foe.
Good old
Oh, is this what we're
Grizzlies.
gonna do?
Yeah,
We're gonna listen to something that makes everybody want to pull their eardrums out of their head.
yeah.
I
It's
don't know,
not
fire-
great.
What's your
Me
guys'
out, man.
fight song? Can you sing it?
We're not gonna do
I have no.
Ah.
I think it's
Some
Moni
cat
Moni.
fans.
Hey man, we're not part of the good old boys club here. We don't know the Montana fight song.
I think fight songs were from the 90s, and that's the only reason that they want to do this.
Yeah, I mean, there's so.
I mean, the
stuck-
90s were pretty good.
They were
We
good.
were all born. Well, not
Yeah.
you. But
99.
Oh, it wasn't 99.
Made it. Barely.
No, and make sure you tune in after Cat Grizz, because we're gonna drop an absolutely electric podcast when the Bobcats
Lose.
take the
Lose.
Grizzlies to
Take it
the
out.
market, and we sell, what are they, naked dead squirrels or whatever?
No. Fat drunken squirrels.
Fat drunken squirrels, there we go.
Squirrels. We're going to sell some fat drunken squirrels this weekend. All right?
Yep, let's go.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening.